I'm Matthew Goldsworth, one of the architects participating in the Lancaster West refurbishment programme, working with residents to come up with some ideas and a vision for the refurbishment of their estate. They came together at the event day in January, where we presented them, we discussed them with residents, we picked up further concerns. We reacted to each other in a collaborative way. So nothing was on the table and nothing was off the table. So it was a free exchange.
When they said they were doing the refurbishment, we were like, no, you're not just going to come in and do this. It needs to be about us. And they were like, what? Sort of. And it was like, no, we're going to lead this. And it was like, well, what do they know? And it's like, yeah, what do we know? Which is why we've had these, because, you know, we've got guys, painters and decorators, you've got some architects, people who work in flats all the time, like ordinary people on the estate, and they've come up with some brilliant ideas, and so it can come from us. You see what I mean? But we have to do something like this to make sure.
One of the best event days, consultation days that we've done. Over 300 respondents through the door. It's about building trust with them to make sure they feel engaged in the process and in control. There's a confidence issue about whether the aspiration could ever be realised.
It's for us to say, we don't know what we will get, but if we don't say, we'll only get what they want to give us.
There's an extra layer of cynicism on the estate if anything that we talk about will actually be implemented. And also I think there's emotional anxiety and concern across a whole load of range of issues, not least fire safety across the estate, that are very, very specific to Lancaster West. There are many issues around repairs, actually not around design at all at this stage.
It is about everything, okay? It's about inside of your house, outside of your house, along the block, and around the area that you live. It's all about where you live. So we need to find your block, you speak to the architects, and they write down and listen, so that when they come back they can say, well, these people have asked for this. Have they all asked for it? Can we do it?
Part of the strategy is to identify what can be termed early projects. The principal refurbishment programme will probably take 9 months of a year to get up and running before you see contractors in there doing significant refurbishment work. So we've set up the possibility of a range of projects that we've helped residents identify, such as the water, such as heating, such as refuse collection and so forth, that they can get on with in the meantime.
They didn't want to drill because of the situation of the asbestos, so why are they drilling now for the shower, for the curtains?
I told Jackie this.
We were told the asbestos is there, but unless it's disturbed, it's fine, and they have now disturbed it.
The whole walkway.
We are going to, like I say, I'm going to contact you on Monday.
Please.
And we need to get them to come to your particular part of the walkway, look at it and to see what they do with that, because that's not funny.
There's issues about the quality of the environment, so we know there's bound to be asbestos around, and those sorts of investigations. How we use public space, how the buildings could be improved, how they're heated into the future more sustainably, what that looks and feels like for them. They were worried about what could be afforded. They're worried about their rents. There's a real opportunity for the residents. Not only are they going to inform what the refurbishment of their estate looks like, but they're going to inform how it's managed into the future, and that will put them in control of what is charged for living on the estate. One of the things we've thought about is to use void properties that come up to do show homes for residents, which will support the technical investigation of what's possible to do with the properties ahead of the major refurbishment, so de-risking it, show homes for residents to show them what's affordable and what their homes actually would look like in the actual setting. Each block group will have a book of ideas, and then they will be put together as chapters in the book of the Lancaster West estate. I think it could be viewed as a brief, if you like, to be taken forward. The architects have got until the end of March. We were tasked with coming out with ideas and vision. It's very important that residents have a role in selecting the design team. I think it's almost the most important issue, that residents get the team they want. It's got to be in everybody's interest to get out of hotels, and also that there's some choices to be made by those residents about whether they want to come back onto the estate, and I know those issues are being discussed. Our brief specifically was not to look at the tower site. The announcement yesterday is exactly right, that that project is whatever local residents want it to be, and they should lead that. I think without the fire, like all London boroughs, they would be looking at redevelopment and possibilities for new housing within the estate. The money that they can achieve with that is predicated on selling a good proportion of flats to the investor market at as high price as they can, which price other people out of the market, price local people out of the housing market, which destroys communities and neighbourhoods. Affordability is the big issue. I think if regional government and national government are serious about local people being involved and part of their local neighbourhood into the future, there needs to be a subsidy that goes in.
This is not about promises, because we don't trust them with promises, but this is about us. I mean, the fact that we're having this, okay, is a major thing, because they were just going to come and do. If we said you have to ask, so they've had to spend this money, they've had to do this, so it means they're listening, they know they have to listen. So we have to deal with the content.
I think if one good thing has come out of this process is that the politicians will pay attention to living conditions in council housing. There's been neglect of living conditions down on the Lancaster West estate, and I think that, together with the trauma that has been suffered, means that this is going to be important not only for the residents there and their basic living conditions, but I think this will set a benchmark for estate refurbishment throughout London and the rest of the country. I think it's a game changer.